right, in our tissues journey, our next one, 4.2, slavery and choice board. So we are going to click there. Let me try again. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yay! Okay, let's see if it works. Today we will learn about how slavery led to the Civil War. Read the informational text, the slavery reading. I'll have to go back and fix that, sorry. Okay, so once again, you can open it as a PDF or you can go to the Google link. So I'm gonna click the Google link right here. Hopefully it works in Schoology is being so. Okay, I gotta copy it just like before. I'm gonna copy. If your copy doesn't pop up right away, go to your Google Drive. It should be in there. And here we go. Now, I know in our tissues, if we look right down at the side, we see that there are 3 S's. It doesn't really matter what order you do the S's in as long as you cover all 3. So here we go. Causes of the Civil War tissues, slavery. Background information, it's just the same as before. The Civil War did not just happened. It wasn't the result of one thing. To remember the causes of the Civil War, use the acronym tissues. So we have tariff, industry versus agriculture, slavery, sectionalism, Uncle Tom's Cabin, the election of 1860, and states' rights. And so provided for you is that pictures as an anti-slavery engraving from the American Anti-Slavery Almanac 1840. And so you can see right there what's going on. The plantation system of the South. The Southern economy was based upon the farming of cash crops. Large farms ranging in size from 500 to 1,000 acres were created to grow items such as cotton, corn, rice, indigo, and tobacco. And of course they had other stuff too, but that's just your big stuff. These items would be sold at markets for profit. These large farms used the labor of enslaved people who originated from Africa. African people became the property of their owners and were forced to work the land. All of their rights were stripped away and their children would become property as well. This cycle of slavery led to the plantation system of the South. Southerners claimed that their economic well-being depended on this system. Treatment of enslaved people. Although the treatment of enslaved people varied from place to place, they were still the property of another person. Racism and discrimination dominated the Southern way of life. An enslaved person had no legal rights, could not vote, and were not able to leave the institution that they had been born into unless they were freed by the owner. The mistreatment of enslaved people was widespread and ranged from inadequate shelter and food to whippings and beatings. William T. Allen, a slave owner's son who became an abolitionist in adulthood, said, "Cruelty was the rule and kindness the exception." There are no known accounts of an escaped person voluntarily returning to enslavement. The rise of abolitionists. By the 1830s, the abolitionist movement in the United States had begun to take hold. People were creating organized groups to fight against the institution of slavery. Many of these groups were in the North and extensions of churches. They wrote their congressmen on the unjust and inhumane system and asked for it to be abolished. Meetings were held to discuss the mistreatment that enslaved people faced and to convince others to join the cause. The rift between the North and South was widening. The South argued that it was their state's right to allow slavery, whereas Northern abolitionists pushed the federal government to take action. This would serve as a central issue throughout the Civil War. It would serve as the issue President Abraham Lincoln would champion to abolish towards the end of the war. All right, so after you do your reading, go back in, make sure you find your choice board again. I bet it's in your Google Drive because you already copied it. But if you want to click it there, you can. Make a copy just like before. If you don't find it, if it doesn't pop up right away, then make sure you go to your Google Drive. I'm going to press present again, and this you can choose any number that you want to do, just can't be one you've already done. So let's say I wanted to do a song. I'm going to write a song from a northern point of view. It has to have 3 stanzas. That's groups of lines. The lines could be anywhere from 2 to however long you want. So think of stanzas kind of like song paragraphs. So I click on 4. It pulls it up. It asks me to make a copy just like before. I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to make a copy because it's going to be my own copy that I get to keep in my stuff. There we go. It is right there. I have the directions on here. Remind me of 4. And this one is just giving me a square. I'm going to write my cause up there and write my song down there. So for this tissue, the first S, we're doing as slavery to make sure that we understand why it's a cause to the Civil War. So tomorrow we get to do another S.